After. Hello, welcome to Casual Conversations. This Zoom show is hosted by Nabis and Ibia, and it was generated originally from the Brain Injury Professional magazine from, at this point, almost a year ago, but we have, this I think is our 27th show. You guys, you all keep coming and we keep finding fascinating people to speak to. I did want to just put in a plug to register for the IBIA Nabis World Brain Injury Congress, which is coming up Wednesday the 28th, Thursday the 29th, and Friday the 30th. And within that, Pink is going to have a track going all those days. And then there'll also be, depending on the day, 1 or 3 other tracks. And I was looking at the schedule. It's going to be really hard to figure out which session you want to go to. There's some competition out there. So it's just amazing people, 25 different countries, and people contributing their passion, their work, and their love for helping people with brain injury, while also having women with people with lived experience panels. So with that, I want to welcome you to today's show, and I'm really excited to introduce to you Erica Walker. Hi, Erica.
Hi.
I'm really happy to have you on the show. Now, I've been torturing everybody, telling them they have to be on Clubhouse. And I think they really thought I was crazy. But I met Miss Quiche, who then I asked her, we were talking about brain injury, and she said, there's this woman you have to know named Erica. And we were introduced.
Thank you, Miss Quiche.
That total credit. And was she right? So I thought we'd start kind of with your life before your brain injury. Would you like to describe sort of what your life was up until that fateful weekend?
Okay, so before my brain injury, I lived a full life. I was very independent. I had my own apartment. I was in college, I believe full-time, and I had a full-time job. And I was just living a dream life, you know, just being a normal adult. I was at my mother's house, from my parents' house at the time. So I was living the adult life. I did things normal a young person normally does. You know, with the club, hung out on weekends, hung out with my friends, went to the mall, you know, things like that. Of course, I had a social life, you know, bowling, things like that. And went to school and just, you know, lived a normal life. And then when I moved out, I moved into I moved with an ex, and then I got my own place after a while. And then because things didn't work out with me and him, so I got my own place, and I was in my own place maybe about a month and a half before. And so I had my birthday, and I planned. So I never had a birthday party. Well, I had birthday parties, but never an adult birthday party where I invited people and stuff. So you know, I didn't know go out to eat dinner thing or whatever, but this particular time I wanted to do a big party. And so I had this big idea to have a party at Maryland Heights Community Center. And so I planned it, had a party planner, and just went all out. And so my birthday.
And we actually have a picture. Yeah. We have a photo of, I'm going to show the photo right here.
Yes.
We don't usually do, but we wanted to show. Here is the fabulous dress you had made, and the theme, A Star Was Born.
Yes, that was my theme, the day A Star Was Born, because I felt like I'm a star, and, you know, that's just my whole thing back then. And so I walked into my party with this particular song called Superstar by Lupe Fiasco. And so I did my little Miss America wave, and it was such a fun party. And I had my tiara, had my dress custom made, as Katherine said, and I went gold accessories, had my gold crown, my nails done, you know, different jewelry. So it's an overall good time. And I went all off of that party. I had stars on every table with my baby photos, my baby pictures inside. We had fruit, lots of food. I had a photographer, DJ, just an overall good party. I had a star-shaped cake, by the way. And it was such a good time and experience. It was just an overall great time.
And then we'll move to what happened next to you. Yes. And, you know, I know this is hard to talk about. And if anyone is out there, just a trigger warning that Erica's going to talk right now about the point in which she was shot. So I just want a trigger warning. It'll probably be about 3 or 4 minutes. And if that would trigger you, please come back in like 3 minutes.
Yes.
Erica, you
So
want to continue?
sure. So
And if I could ask, maybe just speak a little slower because there's a number of people with
okay.
brain injury on the show, and I know that they want to get every word of yours.
Okay. And so okay, so I'll slow down best I can. So that Saturday, my friend had a Herculean, and think about this: we both wore red dresses, and so I had a red dress on my party, and she wore a long red dress to her cotillion that weekend. And so this Sunday came around, and I went to have a sleepover at my cousin's home, and so my overall purpose for having my sleepover at my cousin's home was I want everybody to be comfortable. And so, come on, I only had like a one bedroom apartment, so I invited like I think I have about four. I think I have four cousins of mine, and so I want all of us to have our own space and be comfortable. My cousin's home is a much larger home than mine, and so I asked her could we have to sleep over her house, and she said yes. And so we went over her house that Sunday. I think we went there about Sunday after maybe Sunday evening. So we got there, we had a sleepover girl time, movies, popcorn, talk, and things like that. And had just had a good time that Saturday night. And then Sunday, we woke up to an aroma of bacon, eggs, toast, pancakes.
I was transcribing your story, and that you were talking about that breakfast. I got really hungry.
Oh my goodness, it was such a aroma was like so amazing. I don't know why. I mean, I've ate breakfast before, but man, that particular day was such a nice aroma. Pancakes, like I said, so many different foods. It was like almost like the Last Supper type of thing. And so we had fruit and everything. And so we had breakfast, and we were so full. And so I think we took a nap afterwards. We were so sleepy, that food. And so a couple hours later, I remember taking my cousin to her vehicle because she had to get out the shop. She had to work that day, so she can hang out anymore first that day or whatever. And then I went to my apartment and changed clothes. And I had another cousin from out of town that came for my birthday weekend. And so me and her went to my apartment to change clothes. And then the other two young ladies that were with me as well, I took them to their home to change clothes. And so we all went to my grandmother's home, and then we went to the city. And that's when things took a turn for the worse. Not immediately, but after a while, when we became stationary at the gas station, it took a turn for the worse. And so I remember parking. I didn't need gas at that time. We parked at the gas station, and my overall point for stopping was because I was thirsty. Anyone who knows me back in the day, I hate being thirsty, and so I would think it's something to drink. And so I remember going to the gas station to get a Hawaiian punch, and I also we got other snacks, things like that, and we were going outside the gas station, and I saw some friends or whatever. So we're all, just hanging out, things like that, and just talking, having a good old time. And then out of nowhere, I don't remember what happened. I don't know what, I just remember my heart beating real fast because I heard a noise, and I remember my heart beating real fast, and then I blacked out. And so next thing I know,
you were in the parking lot of the gas station.
Right. I was in front of my car with my door open or whatever, and just listen to music, and just like I said, we were all talking, hanging out, and things like that. And I remember I blacked out. Now I don't remember hearing a gunshot or anything like that, and thank goodness I didn't. I don't remember getting shot. I don't remember feeling anything. But I was told that I ducked, which I had no recollection on. I did, but obviously it makes sense on where I got shot at. I got shot at the top of my head. So if I duck down like this, you would be able to see, you would see where it happened at. So it makes sense that I ducked, and I had a crown on that night. And the thing is, my crown, it shows where the bullet struck at, because I had a crown on top of my head. So if you look at the picture where the piece is missing, you can tell the piece of where the bullet struck at. And so it hit the top of my head. So it makes sense that I ducked down. And the crown, the picture on the screen of the crown is exactly the crown I wore that night was the same crown I had at my birthday party. So it's rare. I still had a crown. I got like a special case because I want to keep it forever. So it's very fragile also. So yeah. And after that, I remember I assumed the ambulance was called, police were called, and I was told during these events afterwards that I was in coma for about a month and a half. I had a stroke on my right side, had seizures. I had to get a trach because I couldn't breathe on my own, and I wasn't expected to make it. That night they were like, "It's not looking good. She might not make it." And I found this fact along being in groups on Facebook that I had a 5% chance of living. And I didn't know the chance was so small, but I had a 5% chance of living, and nobody expected me to make it. It looked real bad. I was told that my head was like very large, and it just everything was swollen. And I had on my crown that night. I had on the crown that night. I don't know why nobody took it off of me, but I had a crown on that night. We went to the hospital, and so it was just a real bad situation, and it was just really rough for my family and friends, and it was just horrible.
You were able to go back and meet the nurse that was on duty the night that you were the night that you were admitted, and that when your parents came in. What how did you find her to be able to do that? Because her perspective is amazing, just reading and seeing the video of her speak.
Yeah, so Nurse Kenya, my favorite of all time. So Nurse Kenya, so my family kept in contact with her, and we just had like a real tight bond. And she was one of the few nurses that really gravitated towards me. So me and her, we just kept in contact, and I remember her coming to St. Mary's Hospital when I went there to when I first started talking. I remember her coming up there, and she was like, "I can't believe it's so amazing you're talking," and things like that. It was just seeing her again was so amazing. And then we just kept in contact ever since. And now we're Facebook friends, and just we're like family. So I love that again.
That's so amazing that she came to visit you.
Yeah, she's a sweet woman, very, very sweet.
What's your first memory of waking up?
My first memory. Oh goodness, let's see. I think I remember seeing it. It might be the first time. It must not be the first time I woke up, but from what I remember, I remember seeing my sister, and she was crying uncontrollably. And I'm thinking, like, what's she crying for? I couldn't talk at this time, and even when I'm looking at her like, just wondering, like, what is she crying for? I'm not wondering, like, why am I in the hospital? Why am I in this bed? Why am I laying down? Why am I not consulting my sister? I'm thinking, like, what is she crying for? And it's never there was never. I didn't find out what happened to me until about 4 months later, and so I was left in the dark. So it was really like I was really like, puzzled as to why she was crying. But I think my first memory was her. No, I take it back. Take it back. My first memory was my other cousin coming to see me. And I remember because I heard her heels. She wore heels all the time. And remember her click clacking down the hall. Yeah, that's my first memory. Hearing her click clack down the hall. Yeah. That was a win. Definitely. Yeah. And I remember I went cooperate with the therapist. Yeah, she had to talk to me. And she had to talk to me. She had to talk to me and about the therapy and things like that. Because I was very stubborn. I was very, very stubborn. I always rolled my eyes at the therapist, and it was a good work for me at that time. Because I didn't know what the heck was going on. I didn't know why they were touching me, and I just wasn't having it. So I wasn't cooperative at all.
Awesome. I'm having some internet trouble. I just got thrown out of the room. I don't know if everyone else is. My thought is if people could turn their videos off. I don't know. That may be. I was on one call that they said if everybody turned their video off, that it might be easier, and then we'll turn them on at the end. But that if it's a myth, let me know. But I know that there's a storm. The Ibia team is in the beginning of Elsa, and I know that there's starting to be rain up here, so I don't want to lose anything. So next in your story, do you want to talk a little bit about your parents and your family interacting with you?
Back then when I got hurt initially.
Yeah, or just like in those first couple of months.
From what I remember, my mother was always there, and I would always see her. And so every morning she would come to the hospital. Well, I think she'd stay night sometimes, but like when I was in, like it seemed like Twilight Zone almost. Like I would blink, then next day be another day. So I guess it must have been highly medicated because I don't remember, night from day. It was
Were
always
you rowdy? I mean, I've heard enough stories, and I've been at that. I see there can be a rowdiness with somebody
no,
recovering from a brain injury.
no. I was very calm. I could say I didn't know what was going on. I was just very calm, and just I'm very nosy. You know, I look around like trying to see what's going on, where am I at. So I think for me, I was just like trying to figure out where am I at, like what's going on,
And you didn't know why you were there.
and
You
absolutely
didn't know what had happened to you until your cousin came in.
not this time, yeah.
And
so,
how long was that from the accident? Did you convince your cousin to tell you?
tell me a story. For I say, well, as I wasn't talking at this time, so it had to be about 5 months later, 4.5 months later.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's
And at
quite a
that
while.
point, you were communicating, you were off the trach, and you were communicating, pointing to letters on a piece of paper.
Yes, my finger wrote the ABCs on a piece of paper, and so I had to like signal for my cousin to take it down, and I spelled out what happened to me. But it took a while for me to unscramble the letters because like when I first looked at the letters, they were like all around the page to me. So I'm like, okay, I had to concentrate, and so I went like one letter at a time. So I spelled out what happened to me. My cousin told me, or he didn't want to tell me, but I said TELME, and so he ended up telling me. He saw I was angry and when he wanted to know. But one thing about my mother, she'll always come in my room every single day and say, "Good morning, sunshine. Today is July 2nd and it's sunny outside," or "Good morning, sunshine. It's raining outside. Today is," she'll always do that as well.
I think we lost Katherine for just a minute there, Erica. But so your mom was there every day. How did the rest of your family adapt to what was going on with you, hospitals, and just that part of your story?
Well, my cousin, who's my aunt's daughter, she was a big advocate for me, and because at one point in time they went to put a plug on me because the chances were so slim of me, I would say recuperating. And so they gave me very little chance of surviving it. If I did survive, I would be in my right state of mind. I would be a vegetable, as they would say, a vegetable, and won't be able to do anything very much or whatever. So this was a big deal, and so that was a big like decision to make. And so, but my cousin said, "No, give her a chance. You know, let her give her a chance, and let's just see what happens." And I had a second surgery, and so I went to another hospital called Kindred, and at Kindred, an infection was found in my head, and so they took me back to St. Louis University Hospital, and undergo a second surgery. And after that surgery, I started showing more signs of improvement in brain activity. And it was like, okay, you should come back around. So it's been a long process, but my cousin was definitely the bulldog for me. And my aunts, I mean, everybody pretty much stepped up and, you know, did their part and was there visiting me and, you know, just consulting my mother. Like I said, I was so heavily medicated, I don't remember seeing a lot of people. And if I pick anybody, I apologize. But being on medication, you just don't know who's there all the time. And so I'll blink and see a different person, blink and see a different person, blink and see a different person. So I feel like I was never woke, but you know, it was really a trying time. And I remember I would see my first lady and her friend, and I would see my friends and just different people and my brother and cousins and different people. But I never I had a hard time communicating with them. But my cousin came with a system, a blinking system. Blink one, I think once was, I think blink once was yes, and blink twice was no. I think, or other way around. But they had
And at that and just at that point, are you moving your hands, and like what mobility did you have at that point?
Well, I can move my eyes. I think after a while, my auntie will move my hands. She would show me, she would massage my hands and she would tell me how to move my hands, my left hand. And so my right hand is still, my right hand is kind of impaired still. It's not in the ball anymore like this. At first, both my hands are like in the ball, but this hand is kind of loose. You know, I can use this hand, and my other hand is like it was in the ball, but it's not in the ball anymore. It's like a little bit looser. Thanks to the Modest Love Hand Mentor. Shout out to them. But yeah, so I had the ability to use my hand to change the channel on the TV. I'm a big TV person, so entertainment was very big for me, and my auntie knew that, so she had to teach how to turn this down. And so I had the ability to do that with my hand, like with my eyes. That's pretty much it. I can really do very much, very little. So yeah. And
So
wise, I don't think I thought about anything still. So
I have a picture of you, one more picture to share of you in rehabilitation.
Yes.
Where let me pull that up. How far are you into your recovery at the point of this picture that I'm going to show?
Okay.
Because we have 10 minutes and there's so many things that you've accomplished. I want to shift your gears.
Oh yeah, retherapy. This was oh goodness, this was back in 2017 maybe. So I had to be 9 years later. 9 years later, I would say. Yeah. 8 and 9 years later, something like that.
And the process that you went through, and I know talking to people with brain injury, some people are told, well, after a year, you won't see any progress. After 4 years, you won't see any progress. And what's your message to people about how long you have chance to work on yourself?
Every day. There's no set time. You know, we're all different. Our brains heal differently. And I'm still recovering, you know, to this day. And so we're working at it. Working at it is what also improves it. And this has a lot with neuroplasticity. The more you do something, the more your brain gets used to doing it, and you know it'll help it even more. So you got to do it. But there's always hope to get better. You know, there's always hope to improve. It's never too late to improve and get better. Because I'm not giving up. It's been 13 years for me, and I'm not giving up on walking. So. Yeah.
So when did you return to school? So you have this entire rehab experience going on, and many people on this call will be familiar with it, with what that looks like, because they are most of the people on the call, I think, are brain injury professionals. Yes. At what point were you able to go back to school? Your injury, you were shot in 2008. So when did you return to school?
2 years later.
Wow.
2010, which may be fast to some. But with me, that person I am, I'm very determined. I'm very ambitious, and I'm like, I was sitting at home, and I was so bored. Like, I need to do something. Like, I want to do something. And so once I could talk again and understand things again and be able to comprehend stuff, I'm like, I want to go to school. But I had to be in a wheelchair, and I was very embarrassed to be seen in the wheelchair because I'm not used to seeing myself in the wheelchair, and I don't think other people felt the same as well. So I'm like, nobody used to see me like this. So I'm gonna go to school online for now, and that's what I did. So I ended up, I think I was on my computer looking for something, and this so happens to see on the side, you know, things pop up on the side. I saw University of Phoenix. I'm gonna click on this. So I clicked on it and I read it. I'm like, oh, okay, it's like a good program. And my major was communications, and so I'm like, okay. So I looked up communications, so it's like a good program. So I did all stuff to take to get everything together, and I got in school and I got accepted, and I graduated 2 years later. So I didn't need extra time. I graduated on time. So
that is amazing. Okay, so now you're 4 years out. You have your diploma, and you're totally satisfied, and you've now crossed off all the boxes.
I wasn't satisfied.
You were not satisfied.
I wasn't. I went back to school in 2013.
So wait, I want to clear this, because it took me a couple of times to get this. So you get a degree,
right?
Huge accomplishment, and then you decide you want to go back to school for another degree.
Yeah, because I wasn't satisfied, and I was just like, you know what, I just want to do something. So, but this time I went in person. I was comfortable in my skin to go in person this time, and so, and I'm a social butterfly. I like talking to people. Online, you can't really talk to people, because in my class it's like, I see the names, but I didn't talk to no people. So I want interaction. So we're human. We're meant to interact with people. We're never to be alone. So.
And so what did you major in for the second time?
I started with communications, but then I met a young lady in one of my classes, my first class that I had, and she said, "Why are you making communications? What you want to do is media studies." So I'm like, "It is." I thought it was the same thing, which is a no. I said, "Okay." So I changed my major to media studies. And I was like, oh wow. And so it's a whole new world for me. I ended up going to like the studio there, and it's like kind of TV world. And I said, this is where I'm supposed to be at. This was like, it feels like home. So it's like my passion.
Of your accomplishments of producing videos and publishing books, what was the first thing that you did coming out when you're finishing up your second degree?
I think I became an author. My first accomplishment, becoming an author. Yeah, because I was an intern at the TV station, and so I was there. But I believe the first thing I did was publish my first book, The Lands Book of Short Stories.
And what's that book about?
It's about four short stories, which I wrote in college, by the way, my creative writing class. And they're four short stories about like different topics. The first one's about like isolation, because I feel isolated, and so I created a story about isolation. The second story, I believe, is about I think the family dynamics, and then also and peer pressure too as well, and confidence. And then it also covers it's also 17 peer pressure, confidence, and then also like a love. It's like a love type of last stories about love in a sense, or but coming to my own, like finding yourself.
Now, I saw a number of pictures of you on this book tour, colleges and groups and stuff like that. And
yes.
What was the significance of the yellow bow tie?
Okay, so I'm a schoolgirl. I'm a nerd at heart, a schoolgirl. And so I created a persona of being a schoolgirl. And I kept that theme everywhere I went. I'm like, I can't change it up. So I wear different bow ties, different schools. And I'm going to do school colors, bow tie school colors. So I would tailor to the school colors, the bow ties. And so they kind of led to them.
And the big party that you had, and I think it was a snowstorm, they have a giant cake with the cover of your book and cupcakes. And there must have been 300 people in the room.
You know what? I probably invited about 300 people, but only about, I don't know how many people there. I still don't know the number of people there, but it might be maybe a little over 100 people maybe. But but it's important for me to have a second party because I needed a new association for parties, a better memory of a party. The last memory I had was my birthday party, which hence meant my accident. But this time around, I had actually accomplishment to celebrate accomplishing something after my accident. So it gave me a happier memory, if you want to say it.
And it looked like a great party.
I had a great time.
So I also got to see this amazing video that you did of a man, a father, a husband in a wheelchair after he was shot in his spine. It's a really beautiful video. So how did you produce a video?
Well, so I was in a program called Continuity, and in a program we had to interview somebody for a story. I took it a step further. I want somebody to inspire me, somebody I was inspired by. And so I had been knowing him for a while now at this time. So I asked him, say, hey, would you mind let me do a video on you? And he said, yeah, sure. So he came by my house. I interviewed him in my house, and we interviewed, and then I ended up editing the video myself, put it together.
So you shot the video, you came up with the concept, you shot the video, and you edited it yourself.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And was that the first, that's the one that I saw. Was that the first video you did? Because I know you've done 4.
Yes, my first video I've ever done, but totally by myself, independent. So I was so proud of that video. Yeah.
It's awesome. And I'll put the link in the, follow-up email so people can see that video.
It's called Behind the Wheels. So yes.
Yeah, no, that's great. And that video's up on YouTube.
Yes,
so you're writing a second book.
Yes, about my story. It's called Dear June 1st. And because hence my accident happened on June 1st. So it's like my letter to the day, Dear June 1st. So my letter to that particular day, and how I feel and how I felt, and just an overall story about my life, as well as diving into going into the accident and different things like that. My now. So it's like a trilogy, almost like a before, now, after. So yeah. And
I have to say, you have one of the most active Instagram accounts. You and for those that don't know Instagram, it's photos and videos. You have a themed video with graphics almost every day, if not, then it's such well thought out. So I can't keep up. I can't keep reading it all, much less producing that.
I can keep up myself sometimes.
it's just amazing what you produce. So Instagram, how did Instagram and Clubhouse come into your world?
So, well, first I was on Facebook. That's my home. I never knew anything about Instagram. And I got on there about maybe 2013. But I was like here and there, never on there like that. I'm like, oh, it's okay. But then I got on there heavily, I would say in this 2021. So I'd say maybe like 2019, I would say. Well, 2018, I would say. I got on there a bit more. Now, this is the most I've been here now, the past couple of years, I would say, almost most acting now, especially this year. Well,
And then,
yeah.
and then how does that, and then did you do where you're interviewing other TBI survivors? Did that come before Clubhouse?
Yes. So last year, 2020, God gave me the idea to begin to interview survivors. And so first I was doing my own YouTube channel, talking about my own struggles and things like that. And God was like, no, I want to elevate that. So give me ideas to interview other survivors. And as a TBI cover was birthed. And so I had season 1 and I interviewed about 22 survivors, I believe. Now season 2, I'm interviewing a total of maybe almost 40 people. So it's a double over from last year. So
you have season 1, season 2, you've interviewed over 40 TBI survivors, produced that, put the content up, and then Clubhouse comes along. When did you join Clubhouse?
Yes, even more. So Clubhouse came about last year in 2020. Yeah, December of last year was when I got on there.
So
and
about a month before I'm on there.
Yes,
and here's suddenly, for those that haven't gone on Clubhouse yet, who are missing out.
It's amazing.
It's just audio, so you can do it in your pajamas. You don't have to shower. It's much easier than Zoom. So tell me what the space in Clubhouse you're creating.
So I just started my first club. It's called Unpacking the TBI Bag. So
unpacking the TBI,
unpacking the TBI bag.
Unpacking the TBI bag. Okay.
And so those who don't know, TBI stands for traumatic brain injury. And so just different things we deal with and different things. And it's going to be about a plethora of things, not just all things brain injury. And I'm have people come in, guest speakers, things like that. So it's kind of, I have my first room this week. It went pretty good. I have about 20 people in the room. So it's very good. I'm like, that's a small number, but people are like, oh, that's great. So
I heard you last night telling your story in another room, and you're very powerful when you speak.
Oh, thank you.
So I've highlighted a few of your accomplishments. Is there anything between, 2 degrees, a book and almost a book, 4 videos, any other things that 40 videos on YouTube, and then now your Clubhouse channel? Have I missed anything?
I was a keynote speaker at the Brain Injury Association of Missouri conference. And that came out of nowhere. That was like I called and said, well, do you have any opportunities or whatever? They were like, oh, not right now, but we'll keep it on file. It's okay. That's in February. By June, they were like, I got an email. They said, we got to, they asked me to be the keynote speaker. I'm asking just to be a speaker somewhere, not the keynote, but so it just came out, it came out of nowhere. So I was grateful for the opportunity to be the keynote speaker. I've never been a keynote speaker before, so.
And it was a great speech. I was playing it this weekend. So there's so much that you've done. It's sort of overwhelming to put it all in one communications basket. But what's next? What's next? What would you like to do, going forward?
So in the midst of it all, I put some background right now, but I'm creating my documentary. They're June 1st. And then also I've been interviewing like my friends and family and people that know me back then, people know me now, read it before and after. And also I want to turn my story into a movie eventually. And also my second book, they're June 1st, and then other books as well. I've been getting out questions to make my first book a sequel or an extension of it. And so working on that as well. Creating more content for social media, encouraging more people, brain injury survivors and survivors alike, and all survivors. What else next for Erica besides that? Creating more videos, get my YouTube channel back intact. I'm gonna forget some stuff. Speak opportunities.
Coaching.
Yeah, coaching. For coaching services as well to the survivors. There's always an option as well to contact me for coaching. I do all things because I've been through a lot of things, so I'm well versed. I do a lot of research on things, and yeah, so there's always an option as well.
That's one thing I have to say about the research that you put into those. When I talk about the videos Erica does on Instagram, or even the post, the research that you put into it. It's not like you just, picked up, a car and did a selfie in your picked up a phone, did a selfie in your car, of like, hey, this is me. I'm feeling whatever. These are actually like very well researched content, educational pieces.
Yes, take a lot of work, but I love doing it. I love encouraging people, and I want us all be better. I'll be our best selves, because a lot of times what I find is you think it's over. Our lives are not over. It's just beginning. We gotta take a chance for a reason. So our lives are just beginning. So I want people to enjoy life again. It's okay. We're here for a reason. We're still here. I know it sucks. It really does. And I have my days too. I'm not always like smiles and sunshine all day, every day, all day. I have my moments too, and I had dark clouds, but I choose to override that. I don't stay in that place. And I want others to be empowered to not stay in that place too. So that's why I offer coaching and things like that, because I know how hard it can be, but I don't want us to stay stuck. We still have a purpose. We still got stuff to do. So we're still here. We're still leaving. So I do some second chance, make a difference in the world. So.
And would you mind talking about the role that your spirituality has played in your recovery? Because it's blended through everything that you do, but in such an inclusive way, in such a way of gratitude. So would you talk about that a little bit as you're comfortable?
Yes, God is my everything, and my faith is so important to me. It's gotten me through a lot, and I do mean a lot. Everything I've been through, my faith has got me out of it. Now, when I didn't know what's going on, I didn't know. So I need to my family members' prayers and friends' prayers. But now I have my own. I can say my own self. It becomes so important to me. I gotta send my faith confessions. I gotta read my Bible. I gotta hear my music. I have a routine I do every single day. I listen to music. I got some music in the morning, throughout the day sometimes, as time permits, and things I gotta do. I read my confessions to keep myself positive, think positive. I read my Bible. I listen to messages from my pastor and different people and things like that to keep me encouraged, because it's hard when you're pouring out so much. You gotta pour back into yourself. So I'm very adamant about encouraging myself again, replenishing myself all over again. So yeah.
What was while you were going through rehab, was your faith, which was such a driving force of encouragement and power for you, was that incorporated on all by the rehab professionals helping you and the medical field?
I would say it was a combination. My faith, and then their knowledge and expertise, but I had to do the work too. Because the Bible says faith that works is dead. So you got to do something. You got to pay, right. Act the part in your recovery. You got to do something too. So,
but do you think that there's enough? Trying to think of how to say this. Do you think that the medical community doesn't give enough value and emphasis to the power of faith and respecting people's faith through that process?
I would say yes and no. And I say it because some doctors are faith-based. They understand the principle of prayer. They understand that. And some doctors, they don't. They believe something different, which I respect that. But for me, my faith in God is work for me. But they're entitled to, and I get it, they can only do so much and say so much, and they gotta give you the logical aspect of your injury. For me, it did look very bad. They're gonna go off their logic, what the book say. And I don't discredit that, but at the same time, it's like when you believe differently, it's like things happen. Now everyone doesn't have faith, and it's okay. If that was for you, that was for you. But for me, I know I have my faith in my life, and that's what benefits me the most.
Yeah, I'm just wondering that if that I would like to see that all practitioners, whether they have their own faith life or not, can respect and encourage those people that do, in a respectful way. And I'm on a committee right now that's looking at different ways that brain injury people can, people with the lived experience of brain injury can do some self rehab and self, what can we go and look and see what the best types of self-care programs are out there. And it was interesting because I didn't see spirituality, I didn't see on the list. And it just seems that for some people, that's a key part of their recovery.
It is. And I know some hospitals have I guess the chaplains that go around to the room to stop the patients. They have those, but that's not in every hospital. So I definitely think that's worth delving into. I definitely would yeah, that'd be a great thing to for people that want it. Not everybody want to use their faith. Not everybody wants that. Right. So for those that do, I think it'd be a great resource. For those that don't, they just don't. So
yeah. And so as wrapping this up, and I'm sure people have questions for you and comments about you. What message would you give to that person that's within that first year, first period, whether it's a post they're after their injury at whatever level, mild TBI, moderate or severe, it can have lasting impacts on your life. So when you're in that first period and you're starting to lose faith, what message would you give to people with the experience of that?
Okay, that's a little question. So you make the decision on what you want. Once you get past, once you accept it and get past, the why me's and why does that have to happen, things like that, you can actually focus on your healing, your get back to the essence of who you really are. And so, but I would say take time. It's okay to be patient with yourself. Take your time, but don't quit. And I would say this: quitting is an option, but it's not my option. And we all have option to quit. Any given, I could go right now. I could today or tomorrow. But am I going to? No. But I can't. I had an option though. So quitting is always an option, but it's not my option, and it shouldn't be yours. And so if I can, and I don't say this lightly, but like I'm an ambitious person before I got hurt, and it just carried over to now, and even more. So, but you gotta definitely make the decision to, I'm not gonna give up. But you gotta make the decision. Can't make the decision, but you gotta do the work. So, make a decision to do the work and take your time. But don't compare yourself. Because I made a mistake myself. Don't compare yourself to other people around you. You get distracted, thrown off, and you'll get like, well, why am I not that far? Why am I not that far? Like, why are they recovering? I'm not recovering. Like why you in comparison with other people. But when you focus on just you and your healing, your recovery process, you focus on that. It's ton of it. You see yourself, and that's just it. But stay focused on you. Take time for. I say take your time for yourself. Well, make a decision. Take time for you. Focus on your healing and your process, and don't give up.
You are so amazing. You inspire me like every day, and wherever I go, whether on Clubhouse you're there or Instagram, you've just been so. I would like to give in the last minutes here to let the people in the audience unmic. I have a thunderstorm going over. We'll just keep going with this. And if you want to put your cameras back on and return your beautiful faces back to us. I just really hate when it's all the black boxes. It's just awkward. So let's come on back on. And you're amazing, Erica. Thank you for jumping on and sharing what's such a powerful story. And I would like to give an opportunity. We have a good 15 minutes and let some people share either questions or reflections on your amazing talk to us. So if you want to put your little hand up or just unmic, it's casual conversation. So let's jump in.
Unable to stop.
Hi, Miss Gina.
Alicia, did you want to speak?
Oh, hi. Thank you. Are you me?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't know who, if there was another Alicia in the group or something. I sure would like to speak. Hi, it's so nice to meet you, Erica. I'm also a brain injury survivor who has now taken this experience into wanting to write a book and make a documentary. So we're on the same page. It's definitely, it's something that I relate to. And I just wanted to say, I mentioned in the chat that in response to your point, Katherine, that the medical community could really, you know, I think do a lot and benefit a lot from incorporating some faith-based or recognition of the spiritual elements of the brain injury recovery process into the treatment programs, and, you know, in some way give acknowledgement to a spiritual reality in life would be a very useful tool. Because I know in my own process of healing, it was before I got married that all of a sudden it became very necessary for me to go back to church. I'd been raised in church, and as an adult, it's not something that I was very active in. But then as I'm about to make a spiritual commitment, all of a sudden it was like, wait, I just had a near-death experience. This is a lot, you know? So it was very instrumental in my own healing process to then return to church and make connections with spiritual leaders who were really helpful for me. And prayer and meditation and all of that, I think, is very much interwoven into the process of recovery.
Yes, it is.
And
now, after your injury, could you talk after your injury?
Oh, excuse me?
Could you talk after your injury?
So good question. After my injury, I was in coma for 13 days, and it was a very severe level 4 brain injury. So it was pretty much like I was wiped out. But the verbal part of my cognition was never really affected badly, thankfully. That was something that I never struggled with. And it was weird because during my agitation phase, especially, I had no self-control, you know, no self-regulation. And I had kind of like very primal aggression and the vocabulary of a 28-year-old screenwriter. So I would like curse people out and, you know, say things in ways that it was really alarming, I think, for a lot of especially the people in early rehab, to listen to me talk and use these big words that that it was like, so she acts like that, but she can talk like that. It didn't really make much sense. I find it funny, and I know it's kind of, I can only laugh about it because it was me. But I think at some point I want to write a comedy about this process. Anyway, I wanted to get your email if you're willing to share it, because I would love to be able to connect with you.
Yeah, sure. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and type it.
And I can send it out because I'm going to send out links to all of Erica's social media.
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
and so I'll just send out a whole like media pack for you. And then I'm putting on the website, I'm putting on this is a link to Clubhouse where we were talking about. And so Clubhouse is an app. You download it on your Android or your iPhone. And this is an invitation. You'll come right into the Pink Concussions Club. And then you can look and follow Erica. Then anytime Erica speaks, it'll pop up a notification. And then also you can go over to her club. And that was, let me get it right, Unpacking the TBI Bag.
Yes.
I got it. I was getting it wrong. Thank you, Alicia. Deneen, you want to speak next?
Yes. I just want to say, well, I have a question. What advice would you give someone with a TBI who is returning to school? And I wondered, in your writing and with your filmmaking, is there any adaptive technology that you use? And hello to my babies.
Hi, puppies. They're so cute.
So what advice would you give us?
That you can do it. You know, but okay, so
for school first.
Yeah, research it. You know, find a school that's good for you. Like I said, I didn't want to be seen in a wheelchair, or just I don't want to be seen in a wheelchair. So for me, my insecurities went deeper than that. It's bigger than I had a brain injury. I was fine with that, but being seen in a wheelchair was my biggest thing. So, but definitely research the school you want to go to at first. Make sure they had a program that you want to do. Well, going back to that, go find out which one to do first. Know which one to do in school, and then find a school that has the major that you want to have, or that you're looking to get, and then take the class and sign up and do it. Go for it. You can do it. You know, you can do anything. Anything's possible. So if you need services, because when I was in college, I use disability access services, so I would get like time and a half for my test. So if the test was like an hour long, I would get 2 hours. So and sometimes I would finish the test like 30 minutes. I got all the time, but I knew it was 30 minutes because I studied already. I know all that, so yeah. But they give you time and a half. They have the equipment. They have tape recorders. They have people that write notes for you. I didn't want none of that. So I do it myself because I take different notes. Like I hear stuff differently. So I write down what I hear that help me remember. So that's what I did. And so you have to find your find out helps you remember your stuff that you have to do and that you need to remember for the your classes. Because like I said, people take different notes and they'll just take the highlights of a class. No, I need to know what teacher said exactly. So I need exact words. And so I did the recording thing, but it didn't work for me. But try to take recorder. They got note takers. They have lots of stuff at schools for people with disabilities to use. So stuff is out there. There's no excuse if you can't go to school. There's no excuse.
All right. Thank you. That was helpful. And you just inspire me every day. And I love being on Clubhouse. I will be in your room. I will show up wherever you are. So yeah, I'm your stalker. Okay.
May I ask you to identify yourself, please?
I am Deneen Brooks, and I was most recently connected with Pink Concussions and nominated to the board, and I am looking forward to just serving and giving back and supporting the mission for Pink Concussions and helping women in particular with diversity and making this group grow and more powerful.
So powerful. And both you and Erica will be speaking on Friday, July 30th at PinkX. So really looking forward to that.
I am too. Thank you, Katherine. Thank you, Erica.
I know Kara has to leave. So would you like to be next to speak? I don't see you. Did you have to leave already?
The date of my injury was June 1st, 2008 was my injury date. June 1st of the year 2008.
I don't see Kara. She just texted me that she had to leave a little early. Who else would like to speak next? Allison, do you want to speak?
M-A-E-U.
She can't. Gina, I don't know if Gina's.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, yeah, this is my first time signing on. I got an email from Janet Goodman. Are you familiar with her?
I do know her name. Hi,
Yeah.
do you have something you'd like to say to Erica?
Your story is incredible. I had a basal fracture of the skull when I was 15, 1971. I'm going to be 66, July 28th. And I can't believe what you accomplished, because when I came out of my injury and I went back to school, I didn't know why I was there. And I started cutting school. And then when my parents got my report card, I got pretty beaten up, but nobody understood the injury, you know, back then in those days. So to see what you're accomplishing and everything is really inspirational to me. And every day I work hard. I never gave up.
That's right.
But yeah, the speech was terrible. I would go for help. They say, you read fine. I never got any help. And then I went to Berkeley at the age of 60 because I couldn't go on no more. Didn't want to be here. And they gave me some little minimal test and they put me in groups with people like you. And I met so many wonderful people. And that's what's been keeping me going for the past 6 years.
Right.
But with me, a lot of people don't want to work with me now where I'm stuck because I'm old and I'm set in so many ways and I have so many habits.
Okay.
But I did come a long way. And that's, you know, God bless you, because, you know, to be writing books and have these groups and speaking the way you do is a great achievement. But I just achieved something myself. Right before COVID, I went to yoga school.
Okay.
And my mother had died. I said, how am I going to get through this? And I went, and then COVID came, so I wasn't able to practice, but I was asked to do chair yoga at the senior citizens in New Rochelle. So I've been doing it with the seniors, and all the seniors are coming back. So it's a good thing, you know, and that's helping me. I have to get a lot of help because the memory, I've been dealing with the memory since 15. Like, you know, before the accident, I knew every word to every song. After I can't. I was in a choir for 12 years and I can't remember one sentence to a song. So I have to study. Like today I practice. It's a lot of work and I'm wiped out and I'm exhausted all the time. I'm happy to be here to hear your story because I need inspiration, but I don't know where to go as far as school. Like I always got shot down with everything. Never really got the proper help.
So is there a particular school you're interested in?
I don't know any, you know, where I would go. I did go to Berkeley in Manhattan many years ago, 25, to get my equivalency diploma. I didn't know it was a finishing school. I cried every day. I got through because I was able to learn shorthand and I was able to type. As soon as I got done, they went on computer. And then I never learned the computer. I'm learning a little now. But you know, I need language. I need this. I know there's something for me. Like I see these aphasia groups and I try to join and then I keep getting wrong email. That's not you. And like so much crazy stuff that my head starts going crazy. I can't deal with it. It's just, you know, too much for a brain injury person to deal with. Like, you know, so then I have to stop for a while, but I'll never stop. But it's just like this. I see so many people that came a long way and they were like, well, I had this cognitive therapy and this. It's never been mentioned to me, but yet when I went and got testing, that, you know, like the balance is totally off. My balance is totally up. I go wrong direction all the time. I get lost. I can't, you know, but this is since I'm 15. So the one thing I have to say out of the whole thing is that I don't worry about Alzheimer's or anything like that because I am so on. You know, I dealt with this since 15. You know, have to remember this and, you know, go in and do that. And like even with the yoga, it's a trip, but I go in and I came home, I practiced so hard. I said, oh, I forgot this and I forgot that. But you know what? The next week you go and you do it. And but I don't know, like, what are there schools for brain injury people?
It's a great question. Yeah, I don't know.
You know, some people have gotten help like in Russ and whatever, but like I say, right now I'm at the point where I love talking to people and it helped me and I established beautiful friends through it that we get together, which you mentioned something before, the isolation.
Yeah, Gina, I thought I have a couple of ideas for you. We could get you connected on Clubhouse. There's a link that we put in the chat and I could put it in there again. And I can send that to you. And we're creating a whole community of brain injury, people with lived experience of brain injury, and they have all these great meetings, and it's just an awesome place to talk. How did you, Erica, are you self-taught on the technology? When you know, Clubhouse, Instagram, did you teach yourself or did somebody help you?
I self-taught.
So you just get in there and explore.
Yes, and I just figured out. So I figured out. So I understand it. I was like, well, how do you do this? So I prayed. I said, Lord, I know how to do this, but I'm gonna figure it out. And I just do it. And just I'm very observative. I watch other people too. So It helps as
Well,
well. I'm very
You've
excited.
pushed me to do the Instagram story because when they added story, I'm like, I don't need a story. I already have Instagram. Why do I need the story? So it was the first time I did Instagram story with a little countdown until we were talking and a little text. And I mean, you push me because I'm like, if she can do this and like has done 7 of these today, I could just pump one out. So I wanted to give another chance. Who else would like to speak? Carla Joe, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, back to the last caller. Check, I mean, she's going back to the colleges, your junior colleges, your 4 years. All of them have a disability center, and check with them. Explain you want to come back to school. The one downside is they are going to want, most of them will try to help you, but if you want full help, you usually need to have a doctor's diagnosis of, for example, a brain injury. But I would start there on getting help going back to school, and maybe starting with 1 or 2 classes that interest you.
And maybe Erica, you could do a show on that and interview Deneen. Deneen, you want to jump in?
How about that too? Like, I wish you do something like that about school. Because
Yes, I was like trying to jump in there. I definitely think that, was it Gina?
Yes.
Gina, I work in a disability office, and I want to tell you that I have students that are older than you that have a TBI that I've helped, and I have a TBI too. I'm a survivor, and I'm very symptomatic this week with vertigo, but it was so important for me to be here in this space with other people that I think believe in each other and just help each other. So in terms of documentation for a community college, it has to be within the last 7 years. Your primary care doctor may be able to give you something. I don't know if you're connected with a therapist or anyone that can just say that you're in need of some support, so that you can work with the college so that we can develop an active plan to figure out what your needs are, because needs are different for everyone. What works for Erica may be different for myself, and what works for myself may be different for you, Gina. We are also unique, just like brain injuries are. So don't give up, and please keep in touch. I am on Clubhouse, and Erica, I needed some help with Clubhouse and Instagram. You're like a pro now, so together we are strong, and we will learn.
Thank you, Deneen. I appreciate that help.
Thank you. All right. Anybody? We have enough maybe for one more person?
I'll go ahead and speak up for a moment. I'm a brain injury survivor as well from 2012, but a registered nurse, had worked on trauma unit. I mean, it turned my world upside down, and I have been going through various stages of recovery. And I will say, Erica, that what you're sharing is so, I mean, that idea of just keeping on going and keep connecting to people, I think I found in my journey, in spite of being in the midst of a medical community, there was a whole lot of self-advocating you have to do, and getting connected to people. We've had a lot of research that has come, as you know, even from those days and from your injury date, of course, many, many, but I just want to encourage people, don't stop continuing to reach out and find other people who also have been in your experience, because that is so important to just encourage your own heart and to help you to move forward. That's why this community concept, I think, is so wonderful. I just continue to meet people all the time that have various levels of brain injuries, and it's so underrepresented in so many places. Mine was due to a motor vehicle crash, but there's so many, as you know.
Yes, definitely. I definitely agree with you about that. And yes. Hi, Courtney. Courtney joined in.
Courtney, hi. I want to say hi. Another speaker this is a third of 5 speakers that we're going to have on Friday morning. Did you want to unmic, Courtney? She said hi, Erica and Katherine. Hi.
Hold on. I'm trying to get all of this like together. Hey, everybody.
Hi, Courtney.
Hi,
Katherine.
Hi. You guys, she literally adopted me. We met 2 years ago, and both of our last name is Walker. And I went to school with her cousin, and she's like, "Oh, hi, cousin." I was like, "Well, sure, we could be family for sure." I did have a question to ask you, Erica. I know one thing that we most definitely shared and we connected on is film and, directing and acting and things like that. And I'm just curious, I wonder, like, when you're starting your documentary, like, or before you started, getting more into your film work and everything like that, did you always still have that passion with you? And that's what made you go into, I think it was what, film studies?
Yes. Well, ever since I was 5 years old, I've always wanted to do movies or do something with it or something in that area. So and I guess kind of like forgot about it, I guess. But when a friend of mine had invited me to her documentary premiere, I was like so amazed. I'm like, I got to do this. I'm like, I felt alive again. Like I felt like, like the aha moment. And I'm like, I need to do that. And so that's when I began. That's when I began thinking about ideas, do my documentary and things like that. So that was like 2018. So it's still fairly new, but that's where it came from. My friend, she introduced me to myself. So yeah, it's my passion, my dream.
I just put your YouTube channel up in the chat.
Okay.
So if people want to grab that. Any other questions, Courtney?
No, that was, also too, are you going to be working on your movie soon? I came in a little later because I'm dealing with some family things today, but I came in when you were talking about your book and your film work. Are you planning on doing another documentary soon?
I'm not sure about that, but I definitely want to do work on my movie some more. I'm getting ideas all the time. I just jot them down instead of getting knowledge of how to do it and just get more knowledge where I can. And I've met more people in the industry that can help me along the way. So I'm just taking my time right now and just definitely still jotting ideas down and collecting information as I continue on this journey. So it's definitely not a rush, but I do want to do it before what's this year, 2021. In the next 4 years or so. I definitely want to create my movie next few years. Better sooner than later, but definitely still get my little nuggets here and there. And I want to be the best it can be. And so which I'm sure we'll do pretty good. But I just want to, I'm such a perfectionist. I want to be perfect, I want to be impactful, but yeah, so once I get my own self, I think I'll get to it more. But I want to do some other things first, and like I kind of push on the back burner a little bit, but I definitely get to it sooner or later. So yeah, thank you for your question.
You're welcome. I'm so glad to see everybody today. See all of you all's beautiful faces.
We look forward to seeing you on at the Pink X on Friday, July 30th. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, Courtney. I see Lori McEffers asked, do you have a local community you meet with where you live? I don't have a community I meet with. Yeah, I don't have a local community. Yeah, I don't have one.
Anyone else? We've just one more and then we will let you go. There's so many comments, Erica, in the chat. And so I'll copy all those and send you in the email. So people are from Zena, thank you to all, so important and inspiring. Carla Joe, this is so good, thank you, I need to go now. Deneen, I love your artistic vision, Erica, it is healing. Well, thank you for anybody else, one more? I think where everyone's got all right, so we have a lot of comments in there. In the chat, and I want to thank you so much, Erica. The thunder and lightning is starting over my head. I suddenly realized it got dark in the room where I am. Everybody, where you are, I hope that there's a lot of storms going on. Everyone's okay. people saying thank you. So I'll send you all of these comments, Erica. Thank you so much. Glad to see you, Courtney and Deneen, our new Pink Concussions board member. Everybody that took time to come on and share Erica's story. Next week, we have Chris Giza speaking. He is the first MD that ever got behind Pink Concussions, and in 2015 put his name on a letter from the unknown person, and we sent it out to 60 medical professionals that we were going to have this international women's brain injury event, and all 60 people came back and said yes. And it wasn't because my name was on there, it was because of Chris Giza. So he'll be on next week, and then that's the end of the show. The week after that will be the conference, and then we're going to take August off, and I am booking people for September. So you'll get a 6-week break, but hopefully the first Thursday in September, you'll be back and we'll start this up again. So next week, and then probably about a 6-week break. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Erica, and everybody.
Thank you, Erica.
Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, bye.
Hey, Gina, is she still on here?
Yes, I'm here.
I want to connect with you one-on-one. Can you send me an email address, or is it already in the comments?
I don't know how to do it. I was trying to make a comment, but it won't go through. It's
Gina, I'll put mine on there. I'll put mine in the chat room, and then you can send it to me and I can send it to Erica.
okay.
'Cause I
Or
know-
you could send me the email, and I don't know.
Yeah, here, I'll just put it right there because mine's public and all over the world. It's right there. Katherine at pinkconcussions.org. Also .com works because I could never remember which one it was, so I did both.
And Pink Concussions.
It's a long word.
Yeah.
I picked pink because it was the shortest
Or
abbreviation for women, because in Twitter, concussions was already 10 letters.
it's beautiful. I got it. And
Okay,
send
I'll
you-
connect you with Erica.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
everybody.
much. Bye-bye.
See you later.